What's up? Welcome to my channel, Lackland, and today we'll be talking about basic military training, or BMT for short, or what other people call boot camp. Go ahead and explain to you what to expect during this time frame while you are out in the middle of nowhere, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, it is the beginning stages or the fundamentals to joining the United States military, the Air Force to be specific. And basic military training, I'll go ahead and give you guys a brief history of it and how it has changed over the years. So prior to 2008, basic military training used to be a 6.5 week program where you go out to Lackland Air Force Base, San Antonio, the 737 training group, where you train for 6.5 weeks and then you graduate and you're done. That was basically what it was. And then after 2008, they switched it. They changed the time frame and everything, not including the location, but they changed it from 6.5 weeks to 8.5 weeks to give it more time there because they wanted to make it a lot more longer than it's. But then after 2015, fortunately for us, they moved it back down to 7.5 weeks. The reason for the 7.5 weeks is so like I mentioned earlier before that the whole program was 6.5 weeks. Now that seventh week was supposed to be a bridge. It is a bridge from basic military training to technical training, of which technical training I'll talk about in a separate video because there's a whole thing on its own. Now the seventh week, as we're talking about, is what they call the Airman's Week. And the Airman's Week is basically time where all the airmen that have graduated basic military training are camped in a place and they teach them things about wingmanship, resiliency, sexual assault prevention, and so forth and so on. Also, just to give them like a slight introduction of what to expect in technical training. So it is that bridge, like I said before, from basic training all the way down to technical training. So the next thing you might want to do, which is all part of preparing yourself to leave to basic military training, is you want to prepare yourself mentally, because it has a lot to do with the whole stress of it getting into your head. The whole environment is designed to get into your head. I know you might say that, oh well, it's not going to happen to me, I'm going to overcome it. Yeah, boy, we all said that. We got there and we realized that it is one thing to say that it's not going to happen to you, and it is another thing to actually be there. So you might want to start getting yourself prepared mentally for living with all other people from different walks of life who view things very different. And also, secondly, another thing you can do to prepare yourself mentally is learning what is expected of you anyway. Number one is the Airman's Creed. You want to know the Airman's Creed. It's very simple. Google it. United States Air Force Airman's Creed is right there. Just learn it. Another thing that you can learn to help you is the Air Force song. You might want to know it because these are things that you'll be saying every single day. Because sometimes the military training instructors can call you aside, hey, recite the Airman's Creed, and boom, there you are. You don't even know what the Airman's Creed is in the first place. So these are things that there's a reason why there's the delayed entry program. There's that gap before you leave to basic training. So you learn things like this. Aside preparing yourself mentally for the situation that you're about to get yourself into, you might also want to prepare yourself physically also. You want to train as hard as you can, because the more fit you are as a person, a lot more easier basic military training is going to be for you. At least you might want to start working out 5 to 6 times a day. The requirement that are needed: push-ups, sit-ups, and run. If you can, you throw up pull-ups. Pull-ups is not a requirement to graduate, but it is going to help you if you are an achiever and you're trying to get Thunderbolt or Warhawk, which I'll talk about later on in the video. But yeah, these three things that I mentioned, sit-ups, push-ups, and run, are things, they are inevitable, so you might as well just prepare yourself for them. And secondly, another thing you can do to prepare yourself physically is letting your family members know what is going on, because you don't want to keep them in the loop and they have no idea where your son or daughter is or what is going on at a certain time. So just let them know that when you get there, you'll be mailing them a mail card, so they should be on the lookout for it in the mail. Basically, the mail card contains your address, name, dorm, room number, whatever it is, it contains it so that they can write letters to you. Because letters is one of the things that keeps you motivated when you hear from family members and everyone is proud of you that you've made it this far. Those are things that keep you motivated because you have no access to phones, TVs, radio, music, nothing of that sort, nothing. So letters are the only things that keep you going. And the second thing that you can do to prepare yourself physically is also letting them know also to constantly check their mails, because you will be sending them letters, and getting closer to your day of graduation, their invitation to come for your graduation will be coming through the mail. So you might as well want to deal with all of these things. Say you don't have any family, you live on your own, start stashing your stuffs and putting them in storage so that you don't have to be paying rent while you are not there. Because chances are that if you're going active duty, chances are that once you're done with basic military training, you wouldn't be coming to the state in which you were when you were enlisted. So you don't want to be paying rent and not coming back to live in that apartment or house. So now you've told your family, you've prepared them mentally and physically. They know what exactly is going to be happening to your son while he's out there. At least they don't know the details, but they know what they can do on their part, like sending you letters, and you doing your part by mailing out what needs to be mailed to them. So now, 0 week is you've arrived at basic military training. You've arrived at San Antonio, Lackland Air Force Base, and you can be put in the old dorms, which is not bad at all. Or you can be put into the newer dorms, which is more luxurious or fancy, if you want to put it that way, because they have elevators that take them all the way up and bring them all the way down, which not a big deal if you're living in the or the old dorms. The only drawback to it is that the older dorms, they have the showers have about, I think, 6 shower heads for over 60 guys. So that is not really fun as compared to the newer dorms that have multiple shower heads, and it is not so many people at a given time. So those are the few perks over the older dorms if you were living in the newer dorms. And because the newer dorms were just built not too long ago, so they still look beautiful, they still look clean, unlike the older dorms that were built somewhere in 70s or 60s. You've arrived at basic training. There is a lot of yelling. Be prepared for it. Constant yelling, because the moment that bus pulls up in front of the dormitories, those MTIs do not play. No, they are there and they make serious business. They come up onto the bus to do the first roll call just to make sure that everyone that they were expecting that they arrive safely. Boom, like everything just comes down on you. It's like 1 minute ago you were a civilian, and then now all of a sudden you're being instructed. All sort of things, like it gets so intense. I cannot explain it much unless you see it for yourself. Military training and instructors, I'm going to be calling them MTIs because they're called MTIs. I just say military training instructors to give you what it means when I say MTIs. So these MTIs are there, and then like I said, they are yelling at you, they are asking you to be in formation, they are trying to get a head count, and you see all sort of people. Some start to cry, some start to shiver, some start to just panic because they've not been in situations like that. Another reason why people find themselves is because they never prepare themselves mentally for it. They just think that, oh, I'm going to show up there and I'm going to graduate. It don't work like that. What you can expect from 0 week, aside the screaming and yelling and all of that, is also getting your hair shaved, which can be an emotional situation for some people, because in 0 week, for the males, females do not get their hair shaved. But I would advise that for females, you come with a hairstyle that doesn't attract too much attention and is easy to work with. So I see most of the ladies come with this cornrow braids. They just braid everything to the back, really simple. They are there in the main business. They are not there to be styling their hair every morning and whatnot, because you do not even have the time to. Because in the morning when you wake up, you have less than 10 minutes to get dressed, be in uniform, your teeth is brushed, you're dressed, and you're downstairs in formation. So there is no time to be combing that long hair of yours, and no, there's none of that. And for the guys, simple, everyone gets their hair shaved. If your hair is this long all the way to your back, well, no one cares. It's gonna get shaved anyways. Yeah, so you might as well do yourself a favor and have a clean shave before you come. That will help you if you don't want to go through the barbers that the base provide. Another thing to look forward to during 0 week is in processing. So prior to leaving your recruiter, they give you a bunch of envelopes and documents to send to Lackland where you'll be training. So they take those documents, basically most of them contain documents that are meant not for you to see, but for the gaining base to see. So usually it is sealed, you have no access to it, and if you break it, they know because they've been doing it for a while. And then they get this document and whatnot taken care of, and then it is done. And then another thing that you can expect is clothing issue. Now you're in week 1, very early wake ups, shaving, brushing your teeth, getting ready in your uniform, boots, whatnot, depending on the weather. You will need extra gear like hats, beanies, and cold weather jackets, and all sort of things. It just depends on what the weather calls for. Usually, they'll announce it over the radio, or your dorm prefect will let you guys know whether to wear extra gear or not. And another thing to expect is appointment. There's a lot of appointment in week 1. You have a bunch of medical appointments. You have a bunch of dental appointments, because it's a different environment. And they just want to make sure your medical and dental needs are taken care of. And another thing you can expect is workouts and long days. Long days, when I say long days, a day in basic military training feels like 72 hours. It takes that long for the day to end, because there is all you're doing is marching everywhere, running, push-ups, sit-ups, go to the dining facility, come back, just waiting for the day to end, and it never ends. So that is what to expect in week 1. Week 2, what to expect in week 2 is drills and a lot more technical marching, because then it involves a lot of precise movements, because you're doing things like left flanks, right flanks, chain steps, about turn, salute, proper customs and courtesies. So you're learning all of these more complex things as compared to just marching forward. Long hours of classes. So you know how everyone thinks that basic training is just, well, you just go train and run around, and no, you're not just running around. It's not just that. I can promise you that it's not just running around. There's a lot of classroom work involved. So the first day that you arrive at basic training, you get this thing called Basic Military Training Bible. And reason why we call it that is because it's always on you. It's gonna be always on you till you graduate. It is I don't know. It's about this thick, like this thick. Yeah. And the goal is for you to study everything in that, and at the end of your training you'll test on it. And so when you go to classroom, some of them are more complex, so they teach it in class what exactly it means. And you have a lot of classes again with career counseling. So basically you get to know what job you'll be doing in the Air Force a little better. Now, they are not going to elaborate on your job so much, because that is for technical training, of which I said we'll talk about in a different video. They are not going to talk about your job too much, but they're just going to give you what the whole career looks like. When, yeah, they're just going to give you a brief summary of it. You learn things like weapon handling. So M16 rifle weapon, you will be able to take that weapon apart, put it back together, and I've seen very impressive figures, like people do that in under 45 seconds. That is how fast they can take the whole M16 weapon apart and put it all the way back together, and learn the function of each and every moving part of that training weapon. So yes, um, it is not just running around. You have a lot more technical things to learn about that, and there is a lot more tutorials on weapon handling, knowing that when you're having a weapon in your hands, you're not going about pointing. You know the way when you're marching about two or three straight lines. So when you're holding your weapon, you're not you're not facing the barrel of the weapon to the next person that is standing by you. Instead, you are holding it in what is called a port call. A port call is a 45-degree angle where you hold your weapon away from the person standing next to you. Just in case, usually the gun has a safe mode which allows the trigger not to fire, but when you're holding it, just in case you forgot to put the gun on your safe mode and mistakenly ended up pulling the trigger, at least the bullet is exploding to the floor, opposed to holding it this way and exploding to the next person. So you learn all this bits of information that comes into weapon handling, because obviously if you're joining the military, one of the things that you are going to be getting more familiar and getting used to is an environment with weapons. You also learn about maintenance, how to maintain the M16 rifle. You'll know how to clean the pad, how to oil it. And now in week 3, what you can expect in week 3 is to be issued your service uniform. Such a relieving feeling getting that uniform, because it's a step closer. It motivates you because it shows you that okay, I'm just one step away from graduation, because these are the things I'm going to be wearing on graduation anyways, and now they are being issued to me. So yes, it is not fun. It is not fun because I say it's a long day. Everything seems like a long day in basic training anyways, because you stay in the line for a long time just waiting. So you get to receive your blues, and it is in the third week that you also receive your name tapes. So now you're just not wearing the camo uniform now, which we call the ABU's Airman Battle uniforms. You're not just wearing it, but this time round you have the United States Air Force written on it, and then you have your name written on it. You do not have any ranks though, because in basic training, everyone is Airman Basic. There is no rank. You feel a little better about yourself because you look into the mirror and you can see United States Air Force written there, and you can see your name. It just gives you that feeling, okay, I'm this close to getting there, and getting your blues too is such an exciting feeling. But then, continuous workout is still in progress. That never ceases till you graduate. Just so you know. So in all of the weeks, if I don't mention working out, just know that it continues. But it other new things to look forward to joins the week as you go. So every week, every week gets difficult. It doesn't get any easier. I mean, I know people say it get easier as you go, but well, it depends on how you see it, though. Anyways, it depends on how you see it. In week 4, it is one of the weeks that test you very well. It pushes your limits to the max. Kind of just it just comes down on you just like that. But I'll go ahead and tell you some of the things to expect in week 4, and one of them is tactical training. So there's a lot of combatives involved. At this point, you know your rifle and you know how to use it, and you've not fired though, but you know the basic principles that comes with using a rifle and how to deal with it and how to clean it, how to maintain it, all of that. You know that. Now, week 4, combatives. You are learning how to fight. Basically, not anything too complex, just a way to bring a situation under control. And another thing that you can expect to learn is SABC training. SABC training, which is self aid body care. So, what that is that you are learning first aid, but a higher form of first aid. So, if you were out in the field with your wingman, which is your buddy, uh, and something happened, say he got like something bad happened. Let's just say he passed out of shock or something. you know how to treat the situation. So you know how to put a bandage over a wound, or you know how to treat for shock, just in case they lost a lot of blood, and you're just trying to put the situation under control before support arrives so that they don't die. That is why that SABC is a very crucial thing that they teach. Because if you are joining the military, not to say everyone is going to be at the war front, but for the most part, it's a good thing to know. And then scenario style situations is something that you can expect to learn also. So this is when they have people acting like terrorists or bad people, and you being a United States airman, you were supposed to assess the situation, deal with it, and produce better results out of it. So they have people posing as threats, and then your goal is to use all that they've been teaching you from both the classroom and all the excessive training that you've been doing. This is the time to merge that up, analyze the situation, and bring it under control. And then one of the fun things one of the fun things that everyone that I've literally meet asks me: the gas chamber. The gas chamber. It is something that you would never ever forget about when you join the military. Even after so many years of serving, it is one of the things that you never forget. So basically, what a gas chamber is to test. It's a mock way of testing and preparing you for chemical in case of a chemical attack or any of that. That is what the gas chamber is there for. So what they do is that they go, you try on your mask, you wear your protective clothes and your mop level clothes, and these are just external uniforms that you wear on top of your ABUs just to prevent, in the case of a chemical attack, the chemicals from going directly onto your skin. So then you go into this room. It's a really small room, and they pack as many people as possible inside. And then the people that carry out this test, the whole pill that causes that much pain or suffering or damage is just a small pill like this small. And what they do is that they have a furnace that is burning in the middle, and then they just drop the pill inside. Prior to that, they ask everyone to do like jumping jacks, push-ups, things just to keep your heart going and gasping for air. Because it's a small room, it's tight, it's sealed. There's not much air in there. So after working out and pushing you to your max, you're breathing, you need air desperately. Then they drop the pill in it. Then the pill begins to it causes these fumes or vapor all over the place, and after the room is clouded with the chemicals in it, they ask you to take off your gas mask. Now this is where the problem, because the pill is so strong, whatever that is so strong that when it touches your skin, it feels like it is crawling into your skin. It gives that tingling feeling all over your body. But yeah, you take off your gas mask, and then the goal is to inhale it. I know that sounds crazy, sounds ridiculous, but trust me, if it killed you or it affected you in any negative way, they wouldn't be doing it to thousands of people. Yeah, so you inhale it, and you see people coughing and crying and snorting, and there's flames all over the place and nastiness and whatever it is just oozing out of people, and people trying to run for the door, escaping it. Yeah, all this is just to give you an idea of what it feels like when a chemical attack happens. So it's one of the things most people, not some people look forward to it. I didn't look forward to it, but I got through it. But yeah, the gas chamber, that is about it. And then the last thing to expect in week 4 is weapons firing. So this is when you go to the range with the same M16 weapon that you've been training with all this while. You go, you do. I think per person you shoot 90 rounds per person. I'm not too sure on the figure. It's been a while since I did it. But yeah, you go on the range and you shoot, and those that make very high scores end up getting the ribbon marksmanship. So if you really want that ribbon, you want to aim well, you want to shoot well, you want to take all the information they teach you in the class about weapons, firing, and how to aim it right. You want to take that serious if you want that extra ribbon on your uniform on the day of graduation, because very few people get the marksmanship. That means that you are quite skilled when it comes to using your M16 rifle. Week 5 is Beast Week. So now what Beast Week is a mock deployment. So what the goal of it all is to take you from your comfort zone, that is the dormitories, and then take you to this location where uh, it is more like a bear base style. There is not really anything there. Basically, you set up your tents, you set up your sleeping cots, and clean up the areas. You, it's just in the middle of nowhere in the bush somewhere, grasses and whatnot. Yeah, those that type of environment. You know how when you watch the movies, they are locked out in a bare place. There is nothing. That is what Beast Week is supposed to do. Just give you the idea of what it feels like being out there. And some of the things that you can expect from Beast Week is physical training, even twice what you would expect if you were in the dorms just training like usual, just doing your run, push up, sit up. Now in Beast Week, there's a whole lot more that comes with that type of training. It's taken to a different level. And also in Beast Week is when you get to test what they call mock levels, MOPP levels. So if you could Google it real quick, you will know what mock levels are. Basically what they, I'm going to give a brief summary of what it is. It's where you wear this chemical gear uniform, just like I said in week 4, that you wear those things and then they drop the pill and it explodes and you have all that chemical fun going on. Yes, so now that same uniform you wear it, but in this time you're not in a chemical chamber, you're in a real world situation. So what would you do if a chemical attack happened right now? Now you know what it feels like to be in a chemical attack, but now what would you do if it happens? That is the whole goal of mock. So basically you dress your, like I said, you have your gas mask, everything. Gas mask has a tube, it connects to your water bottle, so you feed it through your tube because you can't take it off. Supposing it was a real world thing, you can't take your gas mask off, drink water, and then put it back on. You have the chemical crawling into your skin real fast. So it has a tube that you tie up on the bottle and then just raise it up like this, and the tube goes all the way through your gas mask into your mouth, and then you suck it in. That is it. And you'll be doing pass sweeps, so basically scanning the area for UXOs. I believe that is how it is called. Yeah, UXOs. And what they are is they are like bombs that didn't explode, or bombs that exploded halfway, or bombs that have just been designated there by someone or whatnot. Because usually, most times, if chemical attacks or any of those things are going to happen, a human being is probably not going to come there physically and put it down. They're going to use uh, air missiles or flyovers or things like that to drop them, because it's a lot more easier to cause more damage dropping it from above than having someone physically bring it to the location. Probably they're not going to survive that far. So yeah, so that is what it is about. And also what you do is all the things you learned from week 4, you get to apply them in real life here. So you have this time around not fighting against your colleague students, now you're fighting against MTIs, the training instructors. Is again, it's a scenario style situations where they come and present so much challenge to you just to see how much you can handle being able to operate fully under so much stress. That is what they do. They are very good at that. They are very good at putting pounds of stress on you just to make you want to break down. That as a trainee, your goal is also not to break down. Your goal is to be able to see in between the lines, even though they're putting all the stress on you. What eating MREs look like? MREs are meals ready to eat. Basically, they come in a brown sachet. It has pre-cooked food in it. MREs are not the best of food out there. It's very nasty. I'll be very honest with you. MREs are not fun. They are not fun. If you went somewhere and they said that the dining facility wasn't going to work or it's not working and they were going to present you guys with MREs, I hate to say you're going to hate your time there. MREs suck. But yeah, in as much as they suck, they're not the best tasting food out there, but they'll keep you alive anyways. They have pre-cooked meals in it, and what it does is that it has a pouch that has some chemicals in it. You add water, you add water to it to activate it, and then it becomes like the warmer for the food. So you put your food against it in the box, and then once the heat goes off that water, it warms up your food. And then you have cookies and something. Those cookies are not really the cookies you're used to, so don't get too excited when I said cookies. It has salt, pepper. It just has everything, so that when you pick it up, boom, you're just eating. If you need any external thing, it should be water, and water is always readily available. And also you get the chance of getting your dog tags. So you know, when you watch the movies, they have these dog tags that most of the military people wear when they're out there fighting in the combat zone, and they're looking all tactical. And yeah, those dog tags, you get them in Beast Week, and it's one of your proud moments because you get to perform all the drills that you've learned. You get to perform it in an exceptional manner while you get presented your dog tags. And then those dog tags go around your neck. It has a little bit of your information on it, and it's not meant for you to be wearing every day. So if you were just doing your regular job stateside, 99% of the times you wouldn't wear your dog tags. You only need them when you deploy abroad. Reason why you need them is if something happens to you while you're out there, you pass out or something and you can't really talk, when the medical team come, they use that dog tag to identify you. So it has your name, it has a little bit of information on it, and then that information is what they will use to identify you because you're unconscious and cannot talk. Week 6, so you rehearse for it. You know where your flight is going to stand during graduation, and at this point in time also, you're doing things like PT testing. So PT testing, basically all the exercise you've been doing through all of basic training, every single thing you've been doing in basic training. Week 6 is the week to prove it. You're supposed to prove what you've been learning so far, that yes, I'm worth graduation, I'm worth passing my graduation, I'm worth being out there as an airman. That is what week 6 is about. So you do your PT testing. For the run, it is 1.5 miles, both males and females. I know if you're above 30 or 30 something, I believe, I'm not quite sure on that. Yeah, if you're above 30 something, it's a whole different ball game together. But as long as you're below 30 years, um, the requirements are a little different there. But if you happen to be above 30 and want to know, I'll leave a link in the section below. You can go there and then read the official one for it. Now the run is 1.5 miles, both males and females, and the minimum score for you to pass the run for graduation is 11:57. When I say 11:57, I mean that you're done with your mile and a half in 11 minutes and 57 seconds for the guys. Now for the ladies, on the other hand, it's different. It is 13 minutes and 56 seconds for the ladies. 13 minutes and 56 seconds for the ladies. And when it comes to push-ups, remember I said it's 3 core: run, push-ups, and sit-ups. When it comes to push-ups, the minimum you need for the guys push-ups is 45 push-ups per minute. Per minute is what you need for the guys, and for the ladies is 27 push-ups minimum to pass. And then sit-ups, when it comes to sit-ups, it is 50, flat 50 for both guys and females. Like I said, we don't grade pull-ups in the Air Force. The Marines grade pull-ups, we don't. So that is what PT testing entails. Now, if you wanted to be a Thunderbolt or Warhawk, Thunderbolt is it puts you in the class of an undergraduate. So undergraduates, just like college, we have those who passed, we have those who passed above expectation, so they are the honor class. So yeah, it just puts you in the undergraduate. So that means that you did a little higher than the bare minimums that I mentioned, the 11:57 run, 45 per minute push-ups, and 50 sit-ups. You did above that. Now that is for Thunderbolt, so it puts you in the class for undergraduate. Now there is one which is the exceptional one. This means that you exceeded all round. You exceeded every way possible, every way imaginable you did, which is Warhawk. And Warhawk is usually one guy and one female from the entire flight that gets it. So it just shows how competitive it is. It is good to get because it helps you down your career. So if you're an achiever, I'll definitely ask that you strive for that because it's going to help you down the lane. And then the next thing that you're looking to test on is academic. So you remember I talked about the book, the BMT Bible that you study and test. Yes, this is where you get to test every single thing you've learned both in class and both having that book also, everything you've read from it. And the minimum requirement for passing that test is 90. So you need to score a 90 or better to pass the test for graduation. And also the last thing that you have to pass is your drills. So all the drills that you've been studying, the left flank, right flank, the about turn, salutes, the chain steps, all those things that you've been learning, this is the time to show it. So they pick a group of 4 or 5 guys and they give the command and they expect that you execute it smooth as possible, professionally, having your military bearing, and just execute it as if it's second nature to you, as if you were born with it. That is basically what they expect from you. And then dorm inspections. So in your dormitories where you live and whatnot, they do these dorm inspections because on graduation your family have the opportunity to come into your dormitories to see where you sleep, how you keep your things, how you fold your t-shirts, how you fold your socks, how you arrange your panties, how you keep everything exceptional. Very different from what you do on the civilian world. If you were living on your own, you would just probably throw your socks somewhere. Well, it's not like that in basic training. In the 7th week, what you're looking at is graduation. Family comes over. At this time, you've given them invitation and whatnot to come for your graduation. They've received that package in the mail that I talked to you about. They have all the directions on this, where to stand in the stands so they can be able to see their airmen performing exceptionally after going through all this training. And then if they were undergraduate, which is you, if you were undergraduate, you will be the first to be called. And then if you're a Warhawk, it's a special moment for you because the ceremony is like, it's kind of put on hold for the Warhawk, male or female deserving winner. So that is that part. And then for graduation week 2, you do the airman's run. So basically you run all over the graduation stadium, running with your squadron. You have your flags above, running, families seeing you. They have all sort of big billboards or posters or whatever. I say billboards because people can be extra. Some family members can be extra. They do these things with your names written on it. We love you, whatever on it. and you can see them in distance as you are running and whatnot. And then for the graduation, another thing to expect is they present to you the airman's coin. Now that right there is a changing moment, because the airman coin, um, it has so much significance to it. It has so much history behind to it. Because once you're presented with that coin, you are no longer a trainee. You are an airman of the United States Air Force. It makes a big difference from being called a trainee to being an airman. It's like it seals the deal type of thing. So yes, you look forward to receiving your airman's coin, and then after that, family comes over and the graduation party continues, and you guys can go downtown San Antonio, go have food. You see people in town, people will pay for your food, people who would pay for you for a boat ride. People will just appreciate you because it's not easy going through the whole process. You see, there's just this feeling of achievement in all of what you've done. And once that whole 7th week is over, the weekend is when you got to spend with your family. The weekend is over, the 8th week, Airman's Week. And then you do your Airman's Week, where what I talked about the Airman's Week in the beginning of the video. If you didn't catch that, you can always scroll back and watch it again. And after you're done with that, now you're officially ready to depart Lackland Air Force Base, San Antonio, to your technical training, of which I'll talk in my next video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope I gave in-depth explanations to what to expect during basic training. If you like this video, if it helped you, give it a thumbs up. Comment below if you have any questions, anything that you need clarified, and if you want to have notifications for all my other videos that I post later in the future, you can hit the subscribe button, smash it, kill it, whatever you want to do it. Just make sure that you change the color of that red button to something else. So I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out.